Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, February 6th.
Everyone has the meeting schedule agenda.
Oh yeah, I can grab those notes here and put them into the lounge channel there for everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Juan, Kai, Mackenzie, Nick, Sasha, Wayne, Yavor, Yikes. Welcome, everybody. There's a couple of new faces here, people I'm not familiar with. Do we want to go around and do a round of introductions or anything?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I'm Zane. I also go by Ziggy. I work with the Agent Protocol, maintaining that and helping to host these meetings. Who wants to take it away?
Sure.
I can go. Oh, Juan, you go ahead.
Yikes said he's gnomic, but he's Yikes. He runs around and be employed and do hacker stuff and eat hot chip. I like that. Nothing wrong with eating a hot chip every once in a while.
So I'm gonna go quickly. I'm Wayne. I have a lead gen agency, and before that, I worked at AutoGPT.
Nice.
Well, I guess I can follow that. Hi, I'm Nick, and I work at AutoGPT.
You, Nick. Long time no see.
Yeah, buddy, no kidding.
I'm missing you. I always wonder, like in English or French, because in French it's "tu me manques," but in English it's "I'm missing you."
Yeah,
Whereas in French it's the opposite.
yeah. I hope
Anyway.
things are going well for you, buddy. Who else is left?
Okay.
All right, I know you opened a GitHub. Forecast. Yeah, introduce yourself.
Sorry, what did you say?
Hey, I'm Kai. I'm a budding contributor of the Agent Protocol.
Welcome, welcome.
That's all.
Hi, I'm Juan, and I have been working on the Java side of the AI protocol.
Fantastic. I think there's two other newbies. There's Mackenzie and Yavor. Is that how you pronounce that? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, that was pretty good for a foreigner. Like, it's very hard for all the foreigners. I'm from Bulgaria, and I'm also on the agenda. I'm the chapter lead of AIEF Bulgaria. So, I'll tell you more in a bit.
Awesome.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Mackenzie. I run a company in Port, so we kind of help partners implement AI in various aspects, not just LLMs, but the traditional machine learning as well. I've been to a couple of these and kind of following what you guys are doing.
Awesome. Very good. I would turn my camera on. There's a lot of cameras today, but I am technically incapable of that because of the recording software that I'm using. But so let's hop right into it. We've got a couple of things. It should be a little bit of a short meeting today, but since there's a lot of people, there might be some discussion points that we could bring up along the way. First, order of business in this, we have this Luma event that we've also posted into the events. page here. We update this every week, so the same link should be valid across the board no matter what, anytime ever. Please share this as many places as you can so we can get more people coming to these meetings, because that's very important. So that's pretty much it for that one. Just like and subscribe and share. The next thing up is the new RFC proposals. I have a link here for the pull 85. Now, I was working on getting the schema changed. So just for some context, what we're doing here is we're working on the info endpoint, which we've talked about a couple of times in the past. The info endpoint along with the config options. And what I've got on in this PR here, and Nick's worked on it with me as well, is the RFCs for the info endpoint and the RFC for the config options. And I was working on, where is it? Over here on the side. The Swagger doc. Whoop, there we go. If I pull this over. So you can see we're talking about the changes to this info endpoint, which will be available under here. Of course, it'll be the V2 instead of the V1 once we actually get it merged in and everything changed. So of the agent protocol. So we've got the name, protocol, version, URL description, et cetera, with the config options, which are just a flat object of other objects that should help make it easier for agents to understand what's going on with another agent, or for a user or client to understand what's going on with another agent. And we're hoping to use this to also bridge in other things. For instance, there's a PR for authentication support and some other things that we might do. I think, Kai, you were talking about secrets. I haven't taken too close of a look at that with Nick. Maybe y'all can talk about that a little bit. I'm not sure, but that would probably be potentially using this endpoint as well, maybe. We'll see what happens there, but we've got a lot more progress done with this, so it should be ready or close to ready for review and merging. So give that a look if anybody's interested. And then, speaking of Kai, I believe we were talking about closing this PR because you said that it was going to be not a thing, and then you came back and you said that it was a thing. So let's talk about that for a minute. What's going on? Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Thanks. New mistake. Yeah, I thought I had an understanding of like how exactly secrets would work with the agent protocol, and that understanding was not quite correct. Nick was generous enough to have some feedback on the RFC. I actually misinterpreted what Nick said on his initial comment around like asking what the intention was behind my RFC or the implementation of my protocol. He's basically saying like the agents themselves don't need the access to the secrets. But I took that to interpret like, okay, if they don't need it, then it doesn't need to be in the protocol at all. But he and I had a follow-up conversation to clarify what the actual use case is. And so I developed a better understanding of, for example, like how AutoGPT would use it. And so what I've come to understand is what would be useful for companies like AutoGPT would be for an end user to be able to submit secrets to a remote agent, as opposed to needing to set secrets in your environment variables when you're instantiating a new agent. I think this could also be potentially useful for third-party APIs to submit secrets to agents. And so, so I took those insights from a conversation with Nick and made those changes. And so now Secrets is alive again and worth a discussion. Made some changes even as recently as 20 minutes ago to just like 20 minutes ago is just like a semantic change to something called, instead of listing secrets, it's called secret keys, because we're only revealing we don't want to ever list secret values back to users. So yeah, I, the PR seems to be ready in terms of the schema, and I'm not sure what the best next step here is, but I imagine if there's consensus that there's multi-company support for this idea, then we can move forward, I imagine, with updating documentation and updating the SDK for version 2, which I don't have much insight into how that process works, but that's where we're at. I'm working on my own project that is not directly benefiting from secrets, but I think for agents to have this benefit is going to benefit the larger ecosystem and expedite the product space. So that's my motivation.
Okay. Very interesting. I do wonder long term what this would look like if we had one agent that was dealing with multiple people. So for instance, if I wanted to upload a secret to an agent, but that agent was public, then how would I, keep that secret only to me, or something along those lines. So there's potential there for some more maybe, but I like where it's going.
Yeah, I would expect that be the responsibility of the maker to do that as like a default,
Right. Okay.
but I don't know.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, I can give that a little more thought. And another related question was whether an agent can execute multiple tasks that are on behalf of different humans. My assumption is no, that's not the use case we're going for, is that one agent instantiation is for one human or one entity. So that it makes sense for keys to be stored in the context of that. But if that's a false assumption, let me know.
I think that's the correct assumption. Yeah.
Juan says, how do you ensure the secret is safe in transit? HTTPS?
HTTPS.
Yeah.
We depend on the giants that come before us.
Yep.
Yeah, and in the other part of that related answer is that we set the format in the protocol for the secret value to password, which in the Open API specification just means it's a sensitive piece of text. It's not just like any string. So they need to treat it like a sensitive string.
Okay.
Quick question for Nick is, does this currently unblock you guys or like help you in some way, Nick?
Not directly, no, but I could see it being useful to us down the
Great.
road, right? But no, I was just trying to help Kai facilitate his work and to a way that give an example of how we would use this in this case.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
I think if we had
maybe
this, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think if this was a thing whenever we had started building, we would have used the heck out of it. Because right now, like we've all configured AutoGPT using the nightmare system, setting environment variables. Right. This would have allowed a little bit more easy ways to do that. But yeah.
Awesome. I'm just wanting to make sure that when it gets merged, it'll be used, etc. And do we have any other agent builders in this chat? It might be good, Kai, to kind of share about this in the Agent Protocol channel to kind of share the latest. Because from our last meeting, it seems like we were like you were gonna scrap this, and so like maybe just share kind of like where it's going now, and ask if any other agent builders have any thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, no sweat off my back if this is not implemented yet. Yeah.
No, the RFC is great. It's having a discussion ground to talk about. So.
Mm-hmm. Great.
All right. I think it'll work out very well.
I want to also quickly plug. So Zane has Friday office hours if people are interested in like doing like more hands-on work. And so, Zane, do you mind sharing like what time usually?
Same
on
time as
Friday?
the meeting, so 11:30 Central Time or 9:30 Pacific Time on Fridays. That's generally whenever I'm going to be around and available. If anybody else is around that time, then let us know, and we'll all hang out in one of the study rooms and do some code or talk AI concepts or et cetera, et cetera. AIEF office hours. Yep, that's Fridays at 9:30 PST.
Yeah. Great. Lastly, I think we have the room to
I think Wayne.
yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Wayne wants to say something?
No. I don't think so. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. Take the floor away, Yavor.
Hey guys, do you mind me sharing my screen? I've got some visuals to show you, if it's
Yeah, of
possible.
course. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I got some slides from one of our events. So yeah, as I said, I'm the chapter lead of AIEF Bulgaria. By the way, do you see my screen or not yet?
It's loading.
Yeah, let me try it again. I'm getting some kind of an exclamation mark. I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay.
Is it because of Zane's screen is being shared, or can two people share a screen at the same time?
Two people can't share a stream at the same time, but
Okay.
if you have my stream open, it could be messing with your bandwidth. So try turning it off and on again now.
Yeah. I also stopped my cameras. Let's see. Oops. Okay. You should be seeing it now. Or nope.
It's still loading for me.
Okay, last try, and if it doesn't work, we're simply gonna go with. Yeah, okay. So.
Oh, that worked.
I can see.
Sorry?
It works.
I can see it.
Yeah, great. So yeah, as I said, I'm the chapter lead of AI Engineer Foundation in Bulgaria. I met Sasha in San Francisco. I'm gonna tell you right now. It was a very funny story. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Bulgaria. I'm a community builder. I'm also a professional athlete. I was part of the national team of Bulgaria in table tennis, and I'm also co-founder of an AI startup called Team GPT. This is my other community. We are 200 people, which we go to ski camps. I organize ski camps every year. So yeah, I love startups, and I had never been in San Francisco since November. So Ilya is the CEO of the project, went to San Francisco for the OpenAI Dev Day. And we were in San Francisco for 2 or 3 weeks, something like this. And on our first day, we attended a hackathon at MongoDB's office, where we actually saw Sasha for the first time. It was a very, very nice experience. I really felt like in a movie. It was a very nice experience. I also love mountains, as I said. So we, of course, went to Yosemite. And during our stay in San Francisco, we attended 1 or 2 more events organized by Sasha, but it was so busy we never had the chance to talk to her directly. And we climbed a peak in Yosemite. I guess many of you have been there, and there are hundreds of peaks. But guess who we saw at the peak? We saw Sasha, so we approached her and talked to her. So it was a very, very funny way to meet Sasha. Back in Bulgaria, I kept thinking about all the AI events you guys have in San Francisco, and we don't have them in Bulgaria. Bulgaria actually is the country with the second most offices in terms of like developer companies from the USA and stuff like this. So there are a lot of developers here and a lot of decent ones, but there aren't many events here, like communities and so on. So I decided, why not do some events here, organize, create a community. So I wrote to Sasha for some advices and suggestions. And this is what she said. She asked me if I wanted to be the chapter lead, and I got super excited. And we literally organized our first big event with like talks and everything in just 2 weeks. So yeah, we've got regular monthly events with keynotes, talks, workshops, and stuff like this. We also get some pizza for our members, and we do some networking. And we also have regular weekly events, which are at a bar with some food and drinks and networking, just like for AI chat. And this is from our first event. Like we book a venue, we do some talks. This is from the second one. We had some lightning talks, like some members from the community could present anything they would like. And this is from our weekly networking events. We had two big events. We've got over 150 people in our community now. It's growing super fast. The people are super nice. Everyone's super invested, and we're planning different event formats in the next months. We try to make it different every time so people don't lose interest. We've got a bunch of open source enthusiasts, and on the next event I'm going to talk about the agent protocol, and so people are familiar with it. They want to work on something open source, they want to contribute, so we'll see if we can get them engaged. I really think there's a lot of potential in this community. So we've got a lot of connections in Europe. So I'm pretty sure we can build new chapters in Europe and make the foundation big in Europe. And yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with the regulations in the EU, but we struggle here. So yeah, it's super important to move things forward. So yeah. And by the way, we might meet soon because we are raising money. So we'll be coming to San Francisco soon, and hopefully we can meet live. So I'm quite excited. And yeah, by the way, if someone of you has some VC connections, please drop me a message. We're looking to raise currently, so I'll be very, very happy if you could help me out with this. And yeah, looking forward to meeting you live in SF.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing. That's a really good outcome. Thank you, Yavor, for leading the charge there.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm super excited. Yeah.
Great. Anyone have questions for Yabor?
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions or any suggestions or any ideas, I'm open. By the way, we're also using Luma for the event organization, and everybody totally loves it. We we had some. We made the first event we made it a bit more exclusive. We added approvals. We wanted to have high profile people. We got like 200 registrations, but we only had 120 seats in the venue. So yeah, it was a very high level event.
Amazing.
Very nice.
How many events have you done now?
Two big events with like talks and reserving a big venue, and probably 5, 6, 7 weekly meetups.
Nice.
Yep.
Wow. Cool.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing. That's super exciting. All right. It's the part of the meeting where we discuss anything interesting that you've seen on social media, like this week. Any cool projects, demos that you want to share?
Ooh, Juan.
Yeah, well, looking at the Java side, I found out too last week. There's an Olama library for Java, so I'm trying to set it up for the project I'm doing here for the agent for the app I manage here in Colombia. So I hope to this works better than doing it directly with OpenAI, because with Olama we can do some testing locally and not have to use OpenAI. You know, that was a great news for me. There are some cool plugins I have found. There's also a LangChain library for Java too. So I will be try to test the two of them and hope to tell you how this goes next week.
That's awesome. I love open source, so that's a really, really good news.
Yeah.
Even though it's Java.
Folks, I also want to share something. My trials, I'd like to share it because I think this is the fundamental of AI agents, in my opinion. So right now, you know that I'm doing lead gen, right? You might be wondering, like, why aren't you building AI agents? Or why aren't you doing AI? And I think, Sasha, you already know why, because you know my philosophy about it. AI agents, they're here to augment and replace jobs. So what we should be doing is take a job, and more specifically take a job to be done. And if you see my screen, you'll see the way my approach works is I have humans first. I'm going to build a pyramid. Humans first that do the job of lead gen, in my case. Then I'm going to create some rules. And then eventually I'm going to go to AI, which to me, AI is nothing more than complex rules, meaning rules that we can't understand, with a very complex neural network that approximates a very complex function. So a lot of people, they start with that, the pyramid, but in the other sense, and it just falls apart. And so I'm glad to be in this meeting with you. I hope I will drive it such that we try to work on jobs to be done. Because the real like the climax, when AI agent climax, is when they augment and replace jobs. So I think we're missing out on this. Like, we should talk a bit more about actual jobs, right? And right now everything is manual. I hope that one day I'll be able to talk to you about software. Right now it just doesn't make sense. And we're even doing no code type of tool with Zapier, and we use front rules, and we try to really not build any lines of code. And I hope that one day what we're building is closer to the agent protocol. But we're still not there yet. But we need to build a foundation, which is we need to have super high relevancy before everything. It's relevancy first and reliability first with humans. Then we add rules, we add AI, and when we add AI, we don't want to compromise on relevancy at all. That's the most important thing. People, they do the opposite. They build a chatbot on the website, it sucks, and they just say, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. It's AI. No, that's not how we should do it, right? We should first start with relevancy first, humans first, and then we try to augment human, and then we eventually try to replace them. So just wanted to share this. Like, why am I here? Like, why do I care about this meeting?
Makes sense. One of the things I'd like to see is like a simulation of an entire bureaucratic process, you know, be able to walk into a building and have that whole thing automated and automated in a way that is still dynamic like a bureaucratic process, I guess, if that makes sense. So I agree.
Yeah, that's cool. In my front is the CRM I'm using. They have workspaces, and I've created a workspace for each of my future microservices. So I have a workspace for lead sourcing. I have a workspace for campaign, marketing campaign ideation. I have a workspace for customer discovery, where I'm trying to, when I onboard a new customer, I need to understand everything about him. So I created a workspace for that. And so you see, eventually these will become agents. But for now, and by the way, the whole thing will become a giant agent as a whole, that you just talk to and you say what you want. But for now, everything is driven by humans, as it should be, in my opinion. Humans first.
It's a great idea, Wayne. You gave me some ideas to test it here. You know, I was thinking on replacing or doing some of our customer support here with AI. But I'm gonna do first like augment the people I have here and then go to the agent.
Dude, use
Good
Front.
idea.
Front is amazing. Front is the best tool for customer support. Like, you're gonna love it so much. Front CRM, type Front CRM, amazing. I'm trying to get Mathilde on my board, Mathilde Collin, the CEO, because I love her so much. Like, she inspired me in so many ways. Wish me luck.
Finger crossed, you know. Great.
So I have a topic of conversation. Part of my motivation with what I'm working on is to kind of get past this skeuomorphic paradigm of AI agents trying to interact with web pages that were designed for humans. A few months back, I prototyped a Chrome extension that could autofill forms with unformatted text. And a couple months later, we saw lots of startups getting into just automating web browsing by simulating human interactions with the website. What I learned from that is that it's a skeuomorphic solution to a problem that's going to change in the future, I think. And I think what this is going to look like is that websites are no longer going to be things that you're either going to have a human interface or you're going to have an API. And APIs are going to be a lot more used in the future by agents. And so instead of I imagine like LinkedIn is like a source of a bunch of sales. Like, for example, this is like a huge thing right now, right? Instead of LinkedIn trying to serve agents through the human interface, I think LinkedIn is just going to have an API and try to serve agents that way. And that just has a lot of benefits in many ways. It's cheaper to execute functions. Web pages are just notoriously complex and difficult for agents to interact with reliably. And so, yeah, APIs are going to allow for agents to actually get stuff done in a much more efficient manner, cost effective and more reliable. So there's kind of a chicken and the egg thing where APIs need to expect that agents are going to be customers. They try to buy goods and services from them. And agents need to be aware that there are APIs that are ready to serve them. And so this is an ecosystem that I'm really excited about and that I'm working on and pushing forward. Yeah. And I think the secrets thing, I think, is only it is not necessarily required for this ecosystem to actually work. Agents with their own proprietary non-open source implementations can implement secret management. But yeah, I think the sooner open source the faster this ecosystem will blossom. And lastly, my final thought on this is that the beautiful thing about this feature in my mind is that when agents are utilizing a bunch of APIs and can, as a strategy to be a customer of third-party APIs, then we're going to start seeing agents that can produce 100 times more productivity compared to agents today. Chatbots can produce a little bit of code at a time, but in the future, I'm imagining tens of thousands of lines of code at a time, and automatic integrations with all the APIs you could possibly need, all while not relying on the human session, but rather a kind of like a highway for an API highway for these agents to actually be super productive. And I think it'll be an arms race for productivity, and that'll be the big motivator to get this ecosystem going. Yeah, some of my thoughts.
By the way, at our first event, I invite the speaker, and the first thing he told me, listen, I'm building AI agents for many years, and now we're getting more and more agents. We need like a unified, universal way to communicate with these agents. Let's build something like this within this community. And I was like, this is what actually we're doing. So I'm sending you the recording from his presentation. I think it's very, very relevant, and yeah, it's about the agentic AI. So it was a very nice presentation and very spot on.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, in terms of my thinking around the requirement for some kind of standardized protocol for APIs is evolving kind of day by day. I came to this meeting like last week thinking, pitching like a protocol for APIs. But since then, I think a key insight I have now is that scrapers of the future have the benefit of natural language processing. And so APIs can really design any API structure they want, as long as they have human readable text to say that it's AI ready. And then that's all it needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Beans. Any other cool demos, last thoughts?
Let's take over the world, guys, with AI. First we take it over, then we save it. That's funny. That's a funny quote. Yeah. Some really good insights. We'll have to check out that video too, Surviving the War of Models. Really excited to see what's going to happen here soon within the next year in the AI space. I think it's going to be really exciting with everything that's happening. Everything in Europe, everything in San Francisco, everything in all the little spots in between. All the cracks are filling with useful elements of this new AI ecosystem and the changes that are going to be there. I think are going to be exciting. I can't think of a better word. But
all right, maybe with that we will end the meeting. Zane, can you end the recording?
Yeah. Thanks for coming, everybody. See y'all next week. Bye-bye.